Madam Speaker, Madam Vice President, our First Lady and Second Gentleman, members of Congress and the Cabinet,
I voted for him.
Justice of the Supreme Court, my fellow Americans.
Let's listen.
Last year, COVID-19 kept us apart. This year, we're finally
Okay,
together
we're
again.
gonna see how much I agree with this person. By the way, I voted for this person. COVID kept us apart. COVID kept us apart. Is it true? Some people, it sounds like, chose to isolate, yes, and I think that's maybe what he's referring to. But some people chose not to. Some people chose to go about their business just as they wanted to. So, this is interesting. This is interesting. Remember that this is a very specifically designed message, designed to cater to a voting group, a populace. What I'm interested in is having a wonderful, universally appreciated, beautiful experience. And right now, the world needs the exactitude of a scientist. And when I say scientist, I mean the scientist inside of all of us, the one who can discriminate and really listen. I don't want to be manipulated. I don't want to be made into a trope. I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to get through before I'm not literally able to watch it just because it doesn't make sense. We need to reword this. We need to write this in a way that is accessible to the truth of everyone's experience.
Thank you so much. Madam Speaker, Madam Vice President, our First Lady and Second Gentleman, members of Congress and the Cabinet, Justice of the Supreme Court, my fellow Americans. Last year,
That's me.
COVID-19 kept us apart. This year, we're finally together again.
So, whenever he says, okay, COVID kept us apart, what does he really mean by that? What is he saying? Can we really be apart from one another? Is it actually possible? Didn't COVID, in some ways, unite us all more than ever? It showed us that our actions have repercussions, and that where we go and how we exist is very much interconnected.
Tonight, we meet as Democrats, Republicans, Independents, but most importantly, as Americans. With the duty to one.
Do you think it's a good idea to say most importantly Americans, given that we're all on the same spaceship, being planet Earth? Do you really think that if Russia or North Korea or China are most importantly somehow less or more than us, isn't the act of like dividing itself divisive? There isn't a being or a soul that's more important than another being, in my opinion. And I think that the reality manifest would agree with me. If there is a God, if there is some kind of force in the universe, people who exist in Africa, people who exist in North Korea, people who exist on this plane, they are all important. So are all the animals. So is the rainforests, you know? This is what's coming up for me when I'm watching this. Whenever we speak and we try to send messages, the other person, in this case me, one of the Americans, whom he said is most importantly why we're coming together. And maybe he's right. Maybe that expression, most importantly Americans, is because this is the State of the Union address from the President of the United States, whom we've elected. There's intentionality and there's words, and what I'm trying to do now, as someone who voted for this person, is not to support him or not to reject him, but to try to listen and to try to learn about what the person that we've elected is going to say, what that platform is being utilized for. Was I excited to vote for him? not as excited as I was to vote for Marianne Williamson or Bernie Sanders. But I was grateful. I was grateful to vote for him in comparison to President Trump, because I'll be honest, I know some of you may like President Trump and support President Trump, but some of the things that Trump has alluded to about women and were just very much disturbing, very disturbing for me. That's not the type of person who talks about women like that in a way. I don't think that kind of energy is an immediate turnoff for me. And is it true that I've talked in derogatory ways as well towards people? I'm sure I have. But if I have, I am really, really sorry if I've ever done anything remotely like that, because it is uncool. It is uncool. I've been mean and I've stood my ground before, but I don't think I've ever said anything so objectifying and itemizing in my entire life. I don't want to create a division between myself and Donald Trump, because I know that we share the same platform. And I know that sometimes in rulers, you do need people willing to take action. Even revolutionary action, you know? And right now I'm taking a revolutionary action. I really am. And I don't know if anyone's gonna fucking watch it, but maybe it doesn't goddamn matter. Maybe this is just for me.
Another, to America, to the American people, to the Constitution, and an unwavering resolve that freedom will always triumph over tyranny. Thank you.
Freedom certainly sounds good to me. Freedom will resolve that freedom will triumph over tyranny. This is an interesting thing. This is an interesting phrase to consider. What is freedom to you? What is tyranny to you? Some people know what tyranny means, some people don't. Some people know what freedom means, some people don't. When I think of the opposite of freedom, I think of imprisonment. I think of not being allowed to do and pursue the life that you want. When I think of tyranny, I think of someone coming in and just like Tyrannosaurus Rex tyranny, like terrible. Something horrible. Something that's just so negligent and not in alignment with peace and love. Tyrannical. That's what that would mean to me.
6 days ago,
I don't know what just happened. This would be an advertisement. Should there really be advertisements on something like this? I mean, we want to pay the news platforms and the services that are disseminating this
Russia's
information.
Vladimir Putin sought to shake the very foundations of the free world, thinking he could make it bend to his menacing ways.
So Vladimir Putin is the head of a different form of government, different rules, and I don't know what's really going on over there. I know that there's millions of people that are fully individuals who can do and say what they want, and for some reason, a group of them have decided to take action. And one side may think this is why, and another side may think this is why. Do I think it's okay to harm? I'm a vegan, for Christ's sakes. I don't even eat animals. I don't kill bugs. I release them outside. So I'm all about nonviolent solutions, and I'm living them out to the best of my ability. You know, I've only listened to 1 minute of this. Whenever we speak and whenever we share words, it's important to be discriminating, and I understand that not everyone has the mind that's as discriminating as me. But I wonder how valuable it is to listen to Biden's opinion, to just get an idea. Is this even a valuable use of my time or our time? I'm going to try to listen for a bit, without interrupting, without offering, and just realize that this is one message, one idea about what's happening in the world. But it isn't really reporting facts to me. There's a lot of opinion in there. I think for news, personally, I would rather it be like this. This happened. That happened. That's what I would prefer. I'm gonna raise a hand whenever it feels like there's opinions and layers of information being added to something. Not necessarily that I don't disagree or agree, but just because I want people to start understanding how communication and how language actually works.
But he badly miscalculated. He thought he could roll into Ukraine and the world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength he never anticipated or imagined. He met the Ukrainian
How does he
people.
know that? Do you know that that's true? Can you verify what he's saying? Certainly Ukraine seems to be resisting.
President Zelensky, to every Ukrainian, their fearlessness, their courage, their determination literally inspires the world. Groups of citizens blocking tanks with their bodies. Everyone from students to retirees to teachers turned soldiers defending their homeland. And in this struggle, President Zelensky said in his speech in the European Parliament, "Light will win over darkness." Ukrainian ambassador to the United States is here tonight, sitting with the First Lady. Let each of us, if you're able to stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world of Ukraine. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
this is a moment where, if I'm able to stand, I'm certainly able to stand. And what does that signal send? What does that signal send? You know? What would it mean? What would I be doing? Kind of like kneeling at the Super Bowl. What signal does that send? To some people, it may mean something. To some people, it may mean something else. It may piss someone off. It may please someone else. Everything that we do has a repercussion. Everything. Everything's analyzed and sold and spun, and there's money involved. There's government involved. There's really helpful information involved. The news and political structures are so complicated and interwoven with every facet of our being. It's very difficult. I don't see how I'm being informed and benefited with this show, this presentation. The State of the Union address is over. We're going to get into the State of the Universe address. The State of the Universe address. Enough of this. There is a bright light called a sun that powers our lives. We're far enough away from it that we don't melt, and we're close enough to it that life can grow on this planet. Precious energy, life, oxygen, water, fish. It is an amazing thing. When I think about the complexities of this experience that we're sharing, the state of the universe is vast, vast. My universe, the way that I experience, is through this body. And right now I have lots of tension. My left pinky fingers is a little bruised from playing gay flag football here in Los Angeles. Very grateful to have that. I eat very well, as you can see. I don't have very much body fat on me. You know, I smell a little bit like the herbs that I've been eating, I've noticed. You know, I could talk about the planets and in what constellation they're in. I could talk about my shoulders. I could talk about my own ideas about what violence is and war. I could talk about pretty much anything. But right now, taking care of my body and being kind to others, being a person of my commitments, all seem like a really good idea. The State of the Universe address is that we are here and now, and I don't know why, and I don't know how. But we are here and now, and in this now, we have power and we have choice. We have power and we have choice We don't have to kill. We don't have to maim. We can be kind. We can be loving. We can choose peace. We can indeed. We can. It's not that I don't think that political structures and things have a place. I just don't even know how to begin to believe or to go into these kind of experiences. I want to be shared information that's valuable. For instance, the weather. The weather is something that I don't listen to every day because I never need to here in Los Angeles, it seems. I literally don't check the weather. I don't think it matters. There was one incident where my friend was going to have a campfire, so we had to make so the winds were safe. You know what I mean? I'm trying to plan a trip to go to Yosemite, perhaps. So if the roads are bad, then I won't be able to go. Like, there's certain things, there's certain tools and capacities that we offer on news platforms, which are very valuable, I think, for everyday life. And then there's stories, and then there's advertisements. Oh my God. Advertisements on medicine. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's crazy. It is crazy. We should not be watching that shit. I understand that certain things, like drugs, for instance, need funding in order to be developed, and they do have amazing benefits. It's like a very complicated potion that's not based on anything other than evidence that it works. I mean, I'm very grateful to have access to these kind of Western medicines, these kind of magical things. They're real life magic, though. I don't mean magical like astrology or something like that, which is like more psycho-spiritual. I mean, it's amazing to me. It's truly amazing to me that we have all of this stuff. But it doesn't seem to be disseminated fairly. There's a lot of wealth disparity. There's not a lot of joy personally in my life. So I'm working towards that. But I think this is enough. I need to take care of my body, and I encourage you to do the same. Okay,